Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GPG 24 Fighting for Wounded Soldiers. In our main event of the evening, we have Desmond M80 Moore taking on Albert Tapia for the 115-pound strawweight title. Jackson, take us through our tale of the tape.
Well, Des Moore, fan favorite here at GPG. She's got 4 wins against 1 loss. Now that 1 loss is out of his weight class at flyweight. This is a strawweight championship fight. In front of him, Albert Tapia out of the Lone Star State. Now, not much is known about Albert Tapia except he's extremely tough and very game. Des Moore has a big challenge ahead of him, but is a slight favorite in this fight. We will see 5 rounds in the strawweight division coming up.
Desmond M80 Moore about to walk into the cage for this 115-pound strawweight title. He is 4-1 as a pro. Like we talked about earlier, his only loss happened at a higher weight class.
Yeah, 125 pounds, that's flyweight. He fought a very tough fight here at GPG, going 5 rounds for the championship. Lost a very close decision to a very tough fighter, the GPG 125-pounder, Andy Shea. He's back at his natural weight class, squaring off against Albert Tapia out of Plainview, Texas, again, for that strawweight championship belt.
Des circling the cage right now, making the trip all the way up from Coconut Creek, Florida. Representing American Top Team is Desmond M80 Moore. All right, let's throw it up to our ring announcer, Steve Peacock. Steve?
And now for our co-main event of the evening. 5 rounds of 5 minutes each. Mr. Vince Dudley will serve as referee for the strawweight competition. First up, we have a 28-year-old fighter who stands at 5'3" and weighs 114 pounds. He has a 3-3 record and represents Team Oyama and hails from Irvine, California. In the blue corner, Albert Tapia. And his opponent is a 27-year-old who stands at 5 foot tall and weighs 115 pounds. He has a 4-1 professional MMA record. He represents American Top Team out of Coconut Creek, Florida, and hails from Easton, Pennsylvania. In the red corner, Des M80 Moore.
Des M80 Moore. Aptly named after the dynamite he has in both of his hands, one of the hardest hitting strawweights in the country, squaring off against the savvy Albert Tapia here at GPG 24. Adam, we have seen Des grow into the professional that he is. This is going to be a tough fight for him.
You know, a funny thing about Des M80 Moore is he's very calm. If you talk to him outside of the cage, very relaxed, very easygoing, you know, you wouldn't think he's a fighter. And he says that he represents Team Short Fuse. That's, you know, his own persona, because it doesn't take much for him to erupt, hence his nickname M80.
But you notice that a lot of times fighters are some of the most just level-headed, calm guys outside of the cage because they get all that aggression out in training. There's just no energy left to be angry. And you realize that, you know, you got to pick your battles. But M80 picked a very tough battle here against Albert Tapia, coming out of Irvine, California by way of Plainview, Texas, the Texas native. Nice lead uppercut coming in, using good footwork to stay out of the power of Des Moore, but Des stalking him like a lion here as he takes the center of the cage in the opening round of this 5-round championship fight at GPG 24.
Excellent matchup for this strawweight title. Albert Tapia in the black trunks, Des M80 Moore in the red trunks. Des switching levels.
Beautiful wrestling here from Des Moore, just consummate chain wrestling.
Des has a very solid wrestling basis. I mean, he grew up wrestling, a lot of years in wrestling, but all of his pro wins are by TKO or knockout.
You know, there's something about the conditioning in wrestling that really just develops strong hips and great balance. 2 things that are essential for developing knockout power in the hands. I believe Des Moore from Bethlehem or Easton, Pennsylvania, just sort of that Northeast PA, considered one of the best areas for wrestling in the entire country. Some of the top wrestlers in the world coming from that area. So just a long, storied history of wrestling in the Northeast area of Pennsylvania. Des Moore contributing to that legacy and continuing on in his MMA career.
You the strawweight division, it's tough for these guys to find fights because, you know, it's just a very scarce division. And we might be seeing right now 2 of the best strawweights in the nation.
Both guys are the total package here. Great striking demonstrated by both. Excellent head-body-head combination from the California resident Tapia. And notice his lateral movement here. He's really doing a good job of staying away from the sort of headlights of Des Moore. So Des is having a hard time just getting him in his sights to unload those firecrackers in his hand. But it's very exhausting. I'm not sure that Tapia can keep this up for 5 rounds, if need be.
Classic East Coast versus West Coast in this one. Des being from Coconut Creek, Florida, well, training now down in Coconut Creek, Florida, against Tapia all the way in California.
Tapia, Texas native. Texas also known for their wrestling, so we don't know too much about Albert Tapia, but I would not be surprised if he has spent some time on the mat as well.
Solid combination from Albert Tapia, followed with the leg kick.
I like how Tapia is setting up his strikes from different angles, changing his level low, high, making it very difficult for Des to just present a strong, unified front of defense. And these punches are sneaking through. But big slam here from Des Moore. And just the strength to weight ratio that this guy has is incredible. His ability to just launch people into the stratosphere. You don't see that a lot in mixed martial arts at the upper weights.
Training with American Top Team is Des. Like we talked about earlier, it's just the list goes on of champions at that gym that he must be training with on a daily basis. He even told me that Robbie Lawler's child just recently started wrestling, and he's gotten the chance to work with Robbie's kid, that is.
Des Moore running a youth wrestling program out of Coconut Creek. Just one of the many ways he gives back to the community that has helped him so much in his own endeavors. As he's looking for his 5th professional MMA victory and the inaugural strawweight GPG championship title. You know, we've talked a lot of hype about Des Moore, but Tapia is really doing a great job of hanging in there, if not winning some of these exchanges.
He's really finding his target with those leg kicks too, Jackson.
And as we spoke earlier in one of the other fights, that's a great strategy for slowing somebody down. And when you're fighting a 5-round fight, you're fighting the long game. You know, it's sort of the long con. Things that you do in the first round that don't have an immediate impact can come back and pay some dividends in the later rounds. So Tapia, both these guys, very, very accomplished. Action right up against the cage right in front of us. Big takedown from Tapia, but Des doing a good job of keeping him inside the guard. Overhook and butterfly guard. Des will probably ride this out to the end of the first round. Very close first round for both these fighters. Not really sure how to call Adam, but I'm looking forward to rounds 2 through 5.
Great first round for Des M80 Moore and Albert Tapia for the inaugural strawweight title.
Global Proving Ground is sponsored by Barb's Harley Davidson, Black Rifle Coffee Company, We Hate Mondays, Headblade, the ultimate head shaving razor, and G Fuel, fuel your life.
Yeah, really tough to call that first round. Both guys doing some really good things. Tapia had some great striking, and opening up Des Moore's defense with those just complicated combinations, head and body, straight, around, high to low. Some really good stuff here from Albert Tapia.
All right, let's take a look at some of the action from round 1, Jackson.
Here's sort of Des Moore where at his finest. Just big takedowns, big slams, ragdolling his opponents right into some brutal ground and pound. But not to be outdone, Albert Tapia with a great defense. He eats a knee for his troubles. And another big hand from Desmond, but Albert Tapia is swinging back and very relentless and gets his takedown of his own to close out the first round. So a very even match here going into round 2 for the championship strawweight belt.
Desmond M80 Moore taking on Albert Tapia. Des in the red trunks, Tapia in the black. Getting ready for round number 2 in this 5-round endeavor, strawweight title action.
One of our wonderful ring girls making the announcement of round 2. And cage door closes, and we will see action in a few moments.
The bell rings to start of round 2. Both fighters meet in the center.
Dude, what I love about the flyweights and the strawweights is that they just have a ton of energy.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get tired. You're going to see just nonstop action from start to finish, regardless of the outcome.
I'm wondering how heavy those leg kicks played a factor in the first round. Like I said, they were finding their target. I'm eager to see how much they actually impacted Dez coming into the second round.
You know, weird thing about leg kicks is sometimes they look like they land really hard, and they don't. Sometimes they look like they don't land very hard, and they cause a lot of damage. So it's tough to see, but Dez has just got that just explosiveness, and it's got to hurt a little bit.
Tapia has Dez pinned against the corner or cage.
Yeah, we sort of guessed at Tapia's wrestling background. I think we're seeing some traces of that here, as he really brings it to Dez against the cage in this grappling exchange.
Some short shots, some shoulder pops there, throwing some knees. Scoring points right now while trying to find the next option. Dez circles out, back to the center of the cage.
Yeah, Dez has got to be just a really tough guy to take down, even harder to hold down. But anytime you can smother somebody against the cage, you're scoring points in the eyes of the judges, and that's really what's important here. It's so critical to win those opening rounds and establish your momentum going into the later championship rounds. Oh, we can see Albert Tapia limping a little bit on that lead leg, trying not to betray some of the damage that he's inflicted, but seems very apparent. You notice he's not as mobile, sort of hobbling on that lead leg. There's more if he smells blood. There we go, looking for that low kick. He needs to set it up and just keep chopping away at that leg. That's going to open up a lot of opportunities later in this fight.
Neither fighter breathing heavy. I mean, that's just what the strawweight fighters do, man. They got cardio for days. Don't get tired. Both fighters bouncing on their feet, fresh as ever. Dez popping some jabs.
Now Dez Moore, the more mobile fighter here, as we approach the second half of round 2, lands another big leg kick to Tapia's lead leg. They are adding up, Adam.
A solid right hand from Dez Moore finds its mark. Very methodical fight between these two, Dez Moore and Albert Tapia, taking their time, not forcing the action, and making for a good fight.
You know, as we're getting a little bit deeper into this fight, it looks like Dez Moore sort of found his rhythm, found his approach, knows what's going to work against Tapia. Tapia is still testing the water, so you're not really sure whether to go high, whether to go low. Still feeling Dez Moore out on the feet in some ways, but Dez Moore just really taking his time and chopping away at that lead leg.
Oh! Desmond
M80
Moore! Wow!
And that is all it takes for Dez Moore to win the inaugural Strawweight Championship here at GPG 24. Dez M80 Moore showing why he is called M80. Beautiful.
Team Short Fuse gets it done. Dez M80 Moore. Big knockout for this man, improving to 5-1. Wow, we got a new champion in the building with an impressive stoppage.
You just don't see that kind of power at this weight. You just don't see knockout one-punch power at strawweight. And that is a quality that Dez Moore brings to the table as he continues his rise in the strawweight ranks internationally.
All right, Jackson, let's take a look at the replay as Dez M80 Moore stops Albert Tapia brutally.
Well, Dez has been chopping away at that leg, and that has been making Tapia very aggressive, rushing in, and Dez just catches him right on the chin with an overhand right. Tapia lunging forward, meets that punch head on, and then it's nighty-night. You'll notice Dez Moore backing up, throws that punch right over the top. Tapia's hands are low, swinging from his hips, takes it right on the chin, collapses into
like
the cage.
A chair. Wow.
You got to be careful when you run in like that, especially against a guy like Desmond Moore who can knock you out with one punch.
Tapia's back to his feet, always happy to see he's okay. We'll be right back with the official results at GPG 24.
The The gladiator is the man who actually steps into the arena, whose face is covered in sweat and blood, who comes up short again and again because there is no success without failure. Join us at the Coliseum Fight Club for Gladiator Series 1, Saturday, July 16th. See MMA's rising stars as they battle, as did the gladiators of history, and mark their place in the hearts of you, the fans. For tickets, go to fightertix.com or call 609-923-2663.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Global Proving Ground 24, Fighting for Wounded Warriors. Let's throw it up to Stephen Peacock for our official results.
This bout is stopped at 3 minutes and 18 seconds of the second round. The winner by knockout came out of the red corner, Des M80 Moore.
Beautiful win from Des M80 Moore, improving to 5-1 as a pro, now the inaugural strawweight GPG champion. Let's throw it up to the man on the streets, Bob Maloney.
All right, Des Moore, your movement was on fire there as usual, nonstop, and then you come out with a highlight reel knockout. You finish the fight. Tell us how you're feeling right there about that combination into the fight.
Mom, we got one.
Des, I know a lot of times you take pride in going to 5 rounds, but it's also nice to have the finish, especially to get the belt around your waist. And James Jefferson put that belt around your waist. You've been coming back fighting here at GPG. You're a stalwart here. We want to see you come back. I'm sure everybody here wants to see you come back and defend that belt. Tell everybody out there how you feel.
I'm feeling great. Thank you guys for coming out. It feels good to finally have one of these wrapped around my waist. Anybody who knows me knows that my only 2 losses were in 2 title fights, so it was kind of disappointing, and it feels really, really good to get this one. And for all the wrestlers that I help out with back home, I gave them a big speech about going after what they want, setting their goals, and go get it, and just explaining to them what hashtag Team Short Fuse is. And I was waiting for that point, and that fuse went off, and there it goes, KO, baby.
The GPG strawweight champ, Des M80 Moore.
Desmond M80 Moore with the beautiful knockout for the strawweight title. Tell us about this fight, Jackson.
Well, Des Moore, I mean, you don't see a lot of knockouts at strawweight, let alone knockouts moving backwards. Des Moore is just a very special fighter here at the strawweight division. Big things on the horizon for the rising star, Desmond Moore.
The first rule of the Fight Club? Everyone talks about the Fight Club. The Coliseum Fight Club, located at 333 Preston Avenue in Voorhees, New Jersey, is the largest, most complete combat training facility in the country. We are loaded with 2 cages, a full boxing ring, 10,000 square feet of mats, unique training in the largest indoor swim facility, cross-training on an indoor AstroTurf field, and a 10,000 square foot weight room. Train under world-class coach Robert Navone with Next Level MMA. And amazing kids programs with Spaz Wrestling. Call 609-923-2663 or go to MMAGymNJ.com. Champions aren't born, they are created. The first rule of the Fight Club? Everyone talks about the Fight Club.
Global Proving Ground is sponsored by Barb's Harley Davidson, Black Rifle Coffee Company, We Hate Mondays, Headblade, the ultimate head shaving razor, and G Fuel, fuel your life.
The gladiator is the man who actually steps into the arena, whose face is covered in sweat and blood, who comes up short again and again because there is no success without failure. Join us at the Coliseum Fight Club for Gladiator Series 1, Saturday, July 16th. See MMA's rising stars as they battle, as did the gladiators of history, and mark their place in the hearts of you, the fans. For tickets, go to fightertix.com or call 609-923-2663.
Tapia.